Absolutely. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate everybody for joining us. Kind of in a different week, different mode here. This week as we're starting Maction, so we're on a 9-day schedule from our last game. So, it was really, I think positive, for our team. We really don't have a bye week per se this year. So just those couple extra days, in our week of preparation, I think were really beneficial for us. Ability to get an extra day off for our players and also spread out the preparation over a couple additional days. I think has been really worthwhile for our team. I think they've handled it really well, and I know are very excited to get out there and compete against a very good opponent. Have so much respect for Ball State, for Coach New and his staff, and the program that they've built at Ball State is certainly a program that I think we look at the University of Akron as someone to, who have laid a pretty good roadmap of what it takes to, to be successful and to build an outstanding program. So again, have so much respect for their program, for their staff, for their players. And it's going to be a great challenge for us this week. I think, they present, a different type of team, than maybe what we've seen the past few weeks. But, again, very, very good, in all three phases of the game. Have some dangerous players, in the return game. Also, pretty dynamic offensively, and defensively they've done a really great job. They played really well. Have a number of returning all-conference guys, and just play very good team defense. So all three phases of the game are going to be a great challenge for us, but we are very excited about that opportunity. And I think that was really the challenge that we issued our team. At the beginning of this week, as we had a couple extra days, we really kind of took stock of, okay, where are we? What have we done well? Where do we need to improve? What do we have remaining? What are some of the goals and objectives, for that remaining, piece? And I think, you look at it, and we're sort of in the fourth quarter. If you look at the preseason as quarter one and the non-conference as quarter two, those first 4 weeks in the MAC were all, East opponents. And now, we're looking at it, and we're in the fourth quarter of the season. We got three of the top teams in the West, and we got our rivalry game. So all four, outstanding opponents for the top teams, in our entire conference. So, that presents a really great challenge, but it also presents an unbelievable opportunity, for our players and for our team. And, that's the mindset that we have, kind of attacking this, and, the opportunity that we have to really, go out there and play some great football, and compete against high-level competition.
Fire away, George.
How deep of a of a self-assessment did you do for the team with quote-unquote extra time?
Self-assessment, George?
Yeah, I know a lot of coaches, when they get extra time during the season, they like to just look back at what they did the prior games this season.
That's right. Yeah, no, that was a big part of it. Especially, in the conference, didn't necessarily, go back to, the non-conference. We kind of hit that as a team, when we finished that stretch of it, but really went back and just kind of, analyzed the 4 games that we had played in the MAC, the East opponents, and, really, from the perspective of, what are the things that that we're doing well? What are the areas that we need to improve? And why were we able to win? What affected our ability to not win? And really analyze that. Really from a just not worried about our opponent or what they did necessarily against us, but just purely on the basis of our team, and what contributes to success in our program, and what leads to to failure in our program, and really took a pretty good look at that, and then was able to really put that into perspective and transition it into the opponent that we're playing this week, in the areas where, when we're playing really well as a team, these are the things that we're doing compared to what do we have to do, to have success against our opponent this week. And I think, there's a lot of crossover, in those areas. And, and looking at it from the perspective, okay, when our opponent has success, what are the things they're doing well? When they've lost, why is that? And, I think we were able to, to really, kind of bring it all together and understand, what is truly important, what really matters, what really affects, winning and losing, in general for us, and then also I think specifically for Ball State.
What are the positives you took out of that assessment, and what were the negatives you took out of that assessment?
Well, I think, I think really just, from an area where we really have to improve, is, our ability to, play well together, all three phases of the game, particularly offense and defensively. I think, we've been relatively steady, on special teams, and our special teams coordinator sort of put it like this, like, we're kind of just existing, we're not really, we're not doing anything that goes out there and, and hurts our team or puts us in a bad situation. But we're also not really doing anything that's impacting and changing the game. And that was, really the challenge, I think, for our defense, for our special teams heading into this, this stretch here of, really making some more impact type of plays, but we've been relatively steady there. I think, offensively, our ability to play with great balance, our ability to protect the football are the two areas that we're really focusing on. We've had some outings where we've thrown the ball with really, great success, and we've had, some outings where we've run the ball, with some good success. But just that ability to find balance and be able to, operate at an efficient level, really in both aspects of the offensive game plan. Defensively, really, comes down to, our ability to stop the run. I think those are, and limit the explosive plays, I think are the areas where when we've played well, we've done a nice job in those areas. When we haven't played well, it's because we're giving up, solid and consistent gains in the run game and giving up explosive plays. It's really the same thing offensively. Like when we take care of the football, we're a pretty good offense. When we're balanced, and taking care of the ball, we're a really good offense. But when any of those pieces are missing, it's just a little bit harder to be successful. So, those are some big picture areas where, I think, we can be better and be more consistent in, and some areas that we've really put a lot of emphasis on, this past week, and just a couple of those extra days, just doing a few more things, from a team perspective, that I think are going to be beneficial. Just again emphasizing and putting greater emphasis on those things that we know are ultimately very important to your team's ability to succeed.
What is your overall health at this point? Are you getting some guys back?
I do. I was actually talking with Coach Mack this morning about it, and we, obviously, unlike, like every other team, in football, college, high school, pro, like you name it. I mean, everybody's dealing with injury. I mean, we've played 8 games, and you're going to be banged up. You're going to have guys, that have, some bumps and bruises, and maybe, may not be at 100% all week, but, they're going to go out there and they're going to play, and they're going to play through it because, that's just part of the game. We've had some guys that have been out, some guys that have been in and out of the lineup, but it's all part of it. But I do think, through 8 weeks, I think we've stayed relatively healthy in terms of major injuries, and knock on wood, as I say all that, but I think the plan that that we've had for our guys from a strength conditioning perspective, from an athletic training standpoint, how we practice, how we structure our work week, I think all of those things, have really, played in, in our favor from some of those major type of situations. And I think our team's done a nice job. I think we've done as well as we have in terms of some of the recovery and regeneration type of work that we've implemented this year, and that Coach Mack has really, done a fantastic job with, that I know is, our players really appreciate and, have found great value in. So, we gotta, it's a violent game, it's a physical game, and unfortunately injuries are a part of it, and we'll get some guys back as we continue to go through this year, and we'll probably lose some others. But at the end of the day, you're counting on every player in your program, to be at his best and to be ready when that moment presents itself and his number is called, to go out there and contribute positively to our team's effort.
Specifically, is Bubba going to be back? He's been down for 3 games, I think.
I feel like it's been more than that. Is it 4 now? I really hope so. I'm very, very optimistic, for Bubba. I know, it's tearing him up, every day that he's, not able to go full go and, not able to be out there practicing with his teammates. I know it's really hard for him. And we've talked about this, in previous, press conferences or other conversations that we've had. And, Bubba really has never missed time. He's it seems like he's always on the injury report and always dealing with something, but he's never missed a game, until these last 4 weeks. So, it's a new challenge for him, but I've been, really proud of him, and, he's obviously still our leader, still, the guy that, brings our team together at the end of practice, and, positive, or, if he needs to get on, the team, whatever it is, like Bubba's the guy, the consistent voice that, that our team respects and, kind of look to, for his leadership and guidance. So, while he hasn't been able to contribute for us on the field, he certainly has continued to make a really great impact on our team every single day.
So it doesn't sound like he's coming back this week.
It's only, what day is it? I get lost on the days. It's only Friday. We got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all day on Tuesday, so never say never.
You're not telling me.
We hope. I mean, shoot, golly, great player.
What's the quarterback situation like? You played Zach and DJ last game. Zach started, DJ finished. Have you come to a decision there yet?
They'll both play. We also get Cato back this week, so all three, are healthy and available. So it's great to have Cato back as well. But I would imagine we feel confident in all of those guys, and they each bring something unique to the table, and I think certainly relative to DJ and Zach, I think they both contributed at a pretty high level at times this season, and to not play one of them, I think would be wouldn't be best in the best interest and give us the best chance to be as good of an offense as we can be. So we want to continue to find ways to get those guys out there on the field and get them contributing and and helping our offense move the football and get in the end zone.
Why is there such a comfort level with going to multiple guys at that position during a game, as opposed to just settling in with one at this point?
Well, for me, like, it's a little bit new. I never have had a situation where where I've had where we've had the type of players where like you want to get all those guys on the field, but like it's certainly I mean, shoot, you can turn on college football games all over the country, and I mean you see it certainly in our conference as well, and I think it forces an opponent to prepare for 2 guys. We talk a lot about when we talk about like game planning and how do we build a game plan, like it's quarterback driven, and and that's offensively and defensively. Like, who's the guy under center? Who's the guy that has the ball in his hands every single play? And, when you have a couple guys with, some crossover characteristics and traits, but also have two, like, completely separate, type of, abilities that they bring to the table. Like, it just, it forces you to segment a little bit of how you practice and, and understand, like, who's in the game and, okay, like, how is that going to affect how it's called and what do we got to be prepared for in that situation. And I think, that's really, a good thing, for us is, while DJ is, certainly a dynamic run threat, I don't think he's limited in any way in what we're able to do in our passing offense. It's not that you can just, kind of come in and, anticipate, like, shoot, all we got to worry about is the run game. I mean, DJ's proven. I mean, he's went out and played really well against Ohio State, and threw the ball really well against, against those guys, against Auburn. And he certainly has, at other points, this season as well. So I think it's it's a little bit new for me, as well. But I think, certainly our offense and our ability to operate at the highest possible level, I think we need to put our best players on the field. And, whether that's coming from the quarterback position, the offensive line position, the running back position, the wide receiver position, like, it's players, not plays. Like, how do we put our best guys on the field, the best 11 on the field in every situation, and how do we make sure the ball is in their hands? And, I think that's kind of our philosophy on offense. And, while we've never, like, really had to think about that in terms of the quarterback, like, we do now, and it's a good thing. So, hopefully, we, can continue to get, high quality, performances and reps out of all those guys. And I think it makes our team a little bit more dangerous.
Where is Ball State's strongest, offense or defense?
I think they're a pretty balanced group. I really do. I think if you look at them last year, I think, offensively, I thought they were, very good. They're still very good, obviously, but I think that defense has really improved, quite a bit from last season. And I think they're both sides of the ball are playing, at a high level. I mean, shoot, they've had some big wins, this season. It's I would really be hesitant to say, what side I think is a more, dangerous group. They're good everywhere, and, very dangerous in, on special teams as well, particularly in the return game. They got a returner that, who's also, one of their top wide receiver who, they get the ball in his hands a million different ways, and, as much as they can. And, he's pretty dynamic as a returner as well. So, I think, there's a reason why they're the defending conference champion, and a reason why they're, off to, a really great start so far in the MAC this season. They're a good, solid football team. So, we're gonna have to, really be on it and, be sharp in all three phases of the game.
You see an opportunity for your receivers in this game?
I wouldn't say, specifically in this game. I think, we have a talented group of wideouts, and I kind of go into, each week, looking and for, ways to get them involved in the game and, allow them to make the impact that I know they're capable of. And we expect them to play at a high level week in and week out. I don't think, I don't think this week is any different, for any reason. I think, Ball State's a really, balanced team, and I think they play the run really well. They get after the quarterback, and they certainly make it challenging to throw the football also. Some teams, have had success in different areas, but, we're going to have to go out there and play well in order to do that.
What does Drew Plitt do best?
I think he's a really good player. I enjoy watching him. I think you know, may have said we didn't have the opportunity to play him last year, but you know, watching some of the tape, you know, crossover games and things like that, I like watching him play. I think he's a very good quarterback. You know, you know, they're a team, you know, offensively. I think, you know, what makes them a little bit different than, you know, sort of what we've seen, you know, up to this point, you know, particularly in the conference, is they do throw the ball a little bit more. You know, they're, you know, far more balanced in that regard. But, you know, they have a really good passing game, and he's really the key to that. You know, I think, you know, managed the game really well. I think he protects the football, takes good care of it, makes good decisions. He's an accurate passer. He's athletic. You know, he can hurt you with his legs. It's not necessarily, you know, like a huge part of his game, but, you know, if you don't, you know, keep him in the cage, I mean, he's going to scramble and he's going to make some plays. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for him. You know, I think he's a really good player. You know, he's fun to watch, and you know, kind of, you know, reminds me, and it's interesting, you know, that Mike, you know, spent some time, you know, in New Orleans, but, you know, he kind of, you know, reminds me a little bit of Drew Brees, you know, from a fundamental standpoint, and, you know, sort of his, you know, his footwork, and, you know, how he plays in the pocket, and, you know, kind of how he moves and operates, you know, and that's a pretty, you know, that's a pretty good compliment. That's a pretty good guy to be, you know, compared to. So we have a lot of respect for him, and, you know, it's going to be a really big challenge for our defense, you know, to defend him. But, you know, hopefully we'll have a great plan, and, you know, try to affect him, and, you know, give him some different looks, and, you know, some things that, you know, maybe, you know, cause him to play just a little bit slower, and, you know, hesitate just a little bit, and, you know, maybe we can get to him with the rush, or, you know, force him, you know, into making, you know, some bad decisions. You know, I think that's the goal, you know, week in and week out. But, you know, he's you know, certainly going to be a tough guy to rattle. He's very experienced. He's a winner. Got great pedigree, and, you know, we'll have our hands full with him for sure.
All right, Tom, you're no longer a hostage.
Thanks, George.